So, what are the odds of a housing bubble? 114 experts weigh in. I'm going to make it 115 because I consider myself an expert as well. I'm also going to add some color and some light to it, and I'm going to share with you a lot of opportunity and optimism. Whether you're a buyer or a seller in this market, this is a great time to be here. And here is the Denver Metro residential real estate market. I'm Sam Wilson with the Sam Wilson Home Selling Team at eXp Realty, and this is your June 2022 market update and report. So you can see the headline, housing prices won't face a big downturn. And that's an awful lot of people surveyed to come up with that conclusion. This is a very reputable report, and in full transparency and reporting just the facts to you from the experts, I will send you this article. All you have to do is reply that you want it, and I'll shoot it right off to you over email. Now, I'm going to get into what's happening in the local market. The rear view mirror is easy. Everything you're hearing on the media and seeing from other reports, it's looking backwards. And then everything looking forwards is just speculation. But what I'm doing differently is I'm going to show you what's happening today and what that means for you as the market transitions, because we are clearly in a shift. And then at the end, I'm going to make a special offer for sellers and a special offer for buyers to help you through this market if you're in the market to sell or buy. And don't worry, it's always free. There's never any obligation. It's just information that I offer to support you as a buyer or seller in this fast changing market. So I think you'll find it very helpful. All right, but let's go ahead and get into what's happening in the market today. I prepared this infographic for you. This is fresh information. This is all within the past 24 hours. So today's June 8th, and the most recent statistics came out May 31st. There's a link to that report in the blog below here. Feel free to look at it, but frankly and unusually, it's already old news, and I'll show you why. So first, let's look at the chalkboard here and see what's changed. So inflation continues to rise at a fairly rapid rate. I'm not here to give you a world economic view or anything. It's just a fact. We're up over 8%. The reason I even bring it up in a real estate report is it's affecting household budgets. And mortgage payments, possibly rent payments, they are a big part of your monthly budget, your household budget. So that's impacting things. Plus an increased interest rate. So mortgage rates have grown over 2% since the first of the year, up to 5.5%, headed towards 6% and beyond, because the Fed's going to continue to raise rates in June and July. The other important fact here, though, here's some optimism, some opportunity for you. I found a 50-year report from Freddie Mac, one of the big mortgage institutions, and it tracked mortgage rates from 1971, so a little over 50 years. The average interest rate over time has been 8%. So we're still below that. Yes, they've gone up a lot, but that's only because they were ridiculously low during the pandemic. And there's lots of reasons for that, not for this video, but that's just the fact of the matter, is that interest rates are still historically low. Listings are up 14%. There's 14% more homes to choose from today than there were on May 1st. So that's really a May 22 number versus April 22 number. A bigger number is that May 22 versus May 2021, listings are up 76%. There's 76% more homes to choose from than a year ago. An average of 20 days on the market. This is important because in that report on May 31st, we discovered that the days on market were only 9. They're already up to 20 just a week later. So homes are taking twice as long to sell as they did in May. That's a big deal. Related to that, sellers are having to reduce their prices. Honestly, I didn't track price reductions or failed contracts until June 1st. But I can tell you anecdotally, I noticed maybe 30, 40, 50 price reductions a week, and maybe 20 or 30 contracts that failed. But look at today's numbers. Over the past week, 1,200 price reductions, and there's only 5,000 listings in the market. 300 failed contracts. I'm going to talk a little more about that when I get to the chart below. But those are big numbers. Those are, in fact, huge. So sellers are having to get more realistic about price, and buyers are getting a little more firm, call it picky, but confident that they can get what they want for the money that they're paying. And if they can't and the sellers won't cooperate, instead of looking in the rearview mirror, sellers should consider looking forward about things like appraisals and inspections. So that's a good transition into this part of the chart, where what we're finding with buyers, and some of this is anecdotal, there's no way to track it, but most buyers are telling us they're just exhausted. And I also have more of a national view of this, where a lot of my friends in other hot markets like ours are seeing the exact same thing. Buyers are just throwing their hands up. They're exhausted and they're waiting for prices to come down, and they're hoping for adjustments on interest rates. So while I'm on this section of the chart, if people were looking for a home over the past year or two and they haven't been able to win in the bidding wars, they deserve to be exhausted. And it's respectable that they want to wait and see what's going to happen going forward. I'll get to that in a minute, but interest rates are not going to come down. Prices are going to level off, as I showed you. There's no big downturn coming, but interest rates aren't going to get any lower. Don't play the daily interest rate game. They'll fluctuate very slightly, but as they fluctuate, they're fluctuating up overall because the Fed's going to continue to raise rates, and mortgage rates are closely follow the Fed rate. So don't expect that. Small price reductions, possibly. The ones we're seeing that I talked about over here, maybe 1% of the listing price, 2%, nothing extreme though. So it's just a way to get a fresh face on the listing for now as more properties come on the market, or maybe the neighbor listed their house a little bit lower to get an edge, and the seller that's been on the market for a few weeks is just adjusting to meet the competition. So again, not a big downturn, but definitely some transition and adjustments causing the market to shift. Now, here's what I can tell you about buyers. The ones we're working with and the ones we're talking to in the market, they're part of the exhaustion is not wanting to compete in bidding wars anymore. Not bidding the price up. Anecdotally, I can tell you I had 2 buyers withdraw from a bidding war this weekend, because they just didn't want to compete and have to do things like waive inspections and appraisals or pay more than the home was worth. So buyers are just less willing to do this. They're not going to continue to do this just because of the inventory shortage. And I'll get to that in a moment. So buyers, the conclusion here and the opportunity and optimism is, your opportunity is either to choose between a slightly higher payment or a slightly lower price point to keep the same payments. But it's all opportunity because there's more homes coming on the market. And we're seeing slight price reductions. You don't have to get in a bidding war, and we can negotiate at or below the list price, and you can get all your inspections and appraisal and have outs to secure your confidence in case something doesn't go well during the contract period. So this to me is an opportunity with more homes coming back on the market. On the seller side, yeah, the party's over, but it's still a seller's market. We would need to double inventory to get a balanced market and quadruple inventory to be in a buyer's market. And those are pre-pandemic, pre-crazy interest rate numbers. So while values don't have to be given up you may not, as a seller, see the continued extreme rise in value. Okay. The Denver metro prices are up 100 grand over 6 months ago. That just can't continue, quite frankly. So while the party's winding down, it's still a seller's market, but on a daily basis, there are a lower number of showings. You're not going to get the extreme amount of showings, people lined up out in front of the house that we were getting just a few short weeks or months ago. You're going to see a lot less bidding wars and multiple offers. These kind of go together. Multiple offers and bidding wars. You may get multiple offers, but buyers may just be selling you on better terms or their ability to close. But you're not going to see the extreme bidding wars that we were seeing, because there just aren't going to be as many multiple offer situations. Longer time on market, I already demonstrated that. Just in the past 8 days, it's taken twice as long from listing to contract. Offers going under contract. That's going to continue. That's going to be a trend here for the rest of the year. Keep in mind, though, under 30 days, selling in under a month is still unbelievably fast compared to history. So more contracts are failing due to inspection and appraisal. So sellers are going to have to be pragmatic about accepting contract inspection contingencies and contract loan contingencies like appraisal. So those are the two main reasons contracts fail: is the home's not in good condition and the seller won't fix it, which in the past 2 years, that was common. Going forward, not only should sellers prepare their home for sale, but they should expect to make inspection repairs when there's health and safety issues to get the home sold for top dollar. Appraisals, that's another one. Buyers are less likely to offer you appraisal gap coverage. In other words, they want the home to appraise for what they're paying for it, or negotiate the price once the appraisal comes in, or they're going to terminate and find a house that's priced at the right value. So we're going to see more of that. Those things are a transition that buyers or sellers need to be aware of. Sure, buyers are going to have to make some choices, but sellers need to be realistic about price and looking forward on price. Stop looking at internet valuations. They're called AVMs, or automated valuation models. They're all over the internet, but they can only look backwards because they are computer programs that look at sales. They're not looking forward like I am to show you what's currently happening today, this week. It's impossible when it's a computer. So price right to start with. And that may be as much as your neighbor's home sold for a few months ago, or it may be having to be slightly more aggressive, or at least not expecting it to get done in a day or two. You may have to be patient if you're priced right, or you may have to consider a longer time on the market or possible price reductions, but those can be harmful. Maybe a topic for another video, but you don't want a lot of price reductions because it creates a lot of questions from buyers about what's wrong with the property, or why isn't it priced like the neighbor's home, etc. So we want to be aware of the competition. We want to price right from the get-go, and you want expert advice, what's happening today in the market. So staging. You may be losing buyers if your home doesn't win the beauty contest. You've got to have it prepared for showings, and it has to be ready to go and looking such that a buyer can picture their own family, themselves, their furniture in the home. Staging is critical. It is something I offer to my seller clients because I think it's that important. Higher quality, this says pictures. I'm going to go with visuals, higher quality visuals. Professional high definition pictures, videos, drone shots, and more. There's lots of opportunity to improve the visuals. Just taking a few cell phone pictures isn't going to cut it going forward. So Make sure that you're using super high quality visuals that help tell the story about the house, which brings me to aggressive marketing. Story selling. What's the story for this house? What can we do to communicate what a great value this home is to a buyer and how it's going to meet their needs? It's been a little bit overlooked in the past couple of years, and that have great marketing and access and viewings of their home will be the ones to succeed above any other option, or the neighbors. So please consider these things as the market is transitioning and shifting toward something more win-win for sellers and buyers. So with that, as I promised, I have 2 offers for you at the end of the video here. So as we wrap up, I have, for sellers, I have an awesome home selling kit. And it's always free. There's never any obligation to list or sell your home. And this is for the seller that's thinking about selling this summer or by the end of the year. It's a box packed with tons of information, valuable, actionable information about selling your home fast and for top dollar. I'll even include neighborhood pricing and sales reports and a few other goodies in there that you'll find extremely useful. I've been doing that for a few months now and getting great feedback on how it's helping our customers. For buyers, I've written a book on buying your dream home, and it applies more today than ever because of what's shifting and transitioning in the market and everything I just talked about here in order to get to, sold and moved in. Both of these offers are free. There's never any obligation to buy or list or sell a home. And oh, by the way, if you're a seller looking to transition into a bigger or smaller house, just ask me for both. Either way, just reply to this email, ask for either one of those offers, and I'll get it right over to you. The home seller kit is rather large, so I'm going to deliver that in person, put a face to the name, and I think you'll find it extremely valuable. So with that, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a fun summer so far, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.